Hi everyone, it's Monica here again, and I wanted to tell you about a dream I had back on April 18th of 2023. I've tried a few times to make a video about it, but it just didn't set right, like it wasn't the time to reveal it yet. And I'm glad I didn't because later in the end of the month, the Lord had revealed some things to me about the dream that now needs to be released, I believe. So this was the dream. So the dream was my husband and I were out an outdoor pavilion expo, like had booths, like a fair type outdoor fair, and it was all about the end times. So as we were walking down around these booths, outdoor booths and things, people were selling their books and selling things, and we just kind of walked around and looked at everything like you normally would. And in the middle was this huge platform, and the platform was raised up. So I had like a step around it and then another step up to the platform. So you were raised up just a little bit off the ground. And on there was anywhere from a dozen to 16 men and women. And it was at least, I'd say 75% women and about 25% men. And the men were dressed in beautiful black suits, very nice and proper, very dignified. And the women were all in black dresses. And they were all up there talking to each other, rationalizing the end times. And as they weren't really being united, none of them actually said, "Ooh, I believe you," or "I believe you." They were just all going at each other about their different viewpoints. And then one of the women came down off the platform because a man was watching, and she went over to him and she grabbed him by the hand and led him towards her, and then just started speaking very seductively to him about her viewpoints, to the point where then it looked like he just, "Oh yeah, that's I believe you, yep, mm-hmm." And they would do that. Some of them would just come down, grab somebody, and then just very in their face seductively talk to them and just kind of bring them into their viewpoint. And I watched this, and then my husband and I left, and because we were like, we don't really agree with any of theirs. We have our own viewpoint, to the point where I saw somebody I knew there, a younger gentleman, and I went over to him and I grabbed his hand and I started talking to him that way. Like, this is how we believe, and you should believe like we do. It was weird. It was really weird. But during that time, I was thinking I was doing the right thing because that's what all of those bigwigs up there were doing. And then after he said, "Yeah, I believe that too," I went over to my husband. I said, "Hey, he believes like we do now. Isn't that great?" He's like, "Well, oh, okay." Didn't really care. And then I stood there and I was like, that just felt wrong. I felt gross. It just was not right. It wasn't the way that should have happened. And then as we went around to the booths, watching everybody do their wares and, trying to, whatever they were trying to sell or explain. And mind you, this is all end time stuff, whatever they were trying to do. Well, one of them was a booth, and a man was trying to get everybody to come on over, come watch this, come watch this. And we came over there, and in his side, he's looking at everybody and telling them to come over. He's going to show you something. And then the little compartment, like standing there, it looked like a woman standing with plastic shielding all around her, like plastic, I don't want to call that sheets or something, but you could see through it, but she was isolated inside there. And she looked kind of frumpy, and she had her head down, and she had black hair about to her shoulders, but it was all over her face. You couldn't see her face, but she was looking straight down, and she was just kind of just going like that. And we could only see the side view of her because her shoulder was pointing towards us like she was looking at him. But her hair all down and just kind of raggedy. Then we noticed a couple come up beside us, and we looked at them, and we looked back, and she had turned her head and took her hair and parted it, and to show them who she was, and said hi. And then she put her hair back over and then turned back to the guy and stood there. And I was like, well, this is a farce. There's nothing wrong with her at all. Because I think it was going to be like a deliverance or something. And it's like, that's not right. You don't do that to show deliverance. You can't do that in somebody that doesn't need delivering. Anyway, so that was a weird part of my dream then, and I woke up. So that next morning, I started talking to the Lord about it, and He really said that, there's a lot going on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, news, radio. I mean, it's all over the place. And there's a lot of pastors, a lot of preachers, a lot of teachers, a lot of prophets, a lot of apostles, and regular people like me who all want to get people on board with what they believe instead of being united as Christians and just encouraging our strengths and our giftings. We're all trying to tell each other how this is all supposed to work. And that, well, you've got that one wrong, and well, so then we're not going to listen to you. And you've got that wrong, so we're not going to listen to you. And not realizing that we're all just a big bowl of puzzle pieces that God will put together. It's not our job. Our job is to do what He told us to do while we were still here on earth, which is to occupy till He comes. So that's what I believed that the Lord was trying to tell me. So then, like I said, I tried to do a couple of videos and it just was not coming out right. It just didn't feel right how I was presenting it. And so the Lord gave me a word. And so on April 26th, I started praying to Him about that dream, because it's like, okay, Lord, why can't I get this video out? What is going on with this? And the word He gave me was, the next video about the platform preachers, be careful how you say that. It wasn't just a spirit of Jezebel, it was more. And I asked Him, I said, if it was more and not just the spirit of Jezebel, because I had asked Him if that's what we were looking at, a seductive person trying to woo somebody into their belief system. He said, performance, attraction, spectacle, confusion, and verbal chaos. So many things on the airwaves. People need to know my word to know what they are hearing is from me or not. Awesome and terrifying things are to come. My word said so. I am the great I am. I will protect my people, and I will fulfill all the words spoken about me in the Old Testament. So many prophecies are still to be done. Be patient. Stay grounded on me. I will not fail you. There is much to start happening. Keep your mind fixed on me as the distractions ramp up to cause fear. Count it all joy to be living in these days. Many from long ago would have loved to be a part of these days you are living in. My word, my truth, my love needs to spread. So many are ready to be set free from these lies and anxieties. To know me is to live in peace, hope, truth, and love. So simple, yet people cannot receive it through their own tangled thoughts and beliefs. Teach them. Show them. They will know you are Christians by your love. Stand out and stand apart. Do not compromise my truths. The word is very true and cannot be changed for one's own interpretation. I was very literal. The only way to the Father is belief in me. No other way. I died for that reason, so mankind can cross death into life because of my sacrifice and my resurrection. Follow me. I will lead you to springs of water. You will never be thirsty for anything in this life after you taste my living water. And so I said, amen. It is so true, Lord. You are the only way, the truth, and the life. And I thirst for you always. So with that word, it took a lot of the pressure off of trying to figure out the dream, because basically it's everything we're seeing all around us. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to interpret the dream, but how to say the dream is what he was worried about, because it's easy to call all those people up on the platform a spirit of Jezebel, and that's just not the truth. It's more. People want to be heard. And sometimes even with their best meant attitude, they can get off track and it becomes a platform. If they get the accolades and it feels really good to get even one pat on the back. And if they're not careful and grounded, they get off track. And then their words get off track. And so I appreciate and I pray for every teacher, pastor, prophet, apostle, evangelist out there, because there are many who have great, great words, but it's easy to get so burned out on listening to everybody that then you get confused and it gets fuzzy and you don't know who to believe, who's speaking what. So that's when you always need to remember to stay focused on Jesus, His Word, His Bible. I tell you, if you don't have at least 6 Bibles with you somewhere, keep one in your car, keep one by your bed, keep one in your living room, keep one anywhere you are, your workplace, hide it in your purse. I know not be men, but women, we need a word. Well, this is our food. This is our manna. This is our honey. This is our drink of water. This is everything we need to survive what this world's going through right now, and all the worries that can happen, the anxieties, that if we trust in Him, He takes those all away and He gives us peace, because He's our hope. Jesus is our hope. And all the end time scenarios. Like I said in that one video about Him eating it with me at a banqueting table, He says, are they all going to heaven? Yes. So why does it matter? And I said, because I want to know. I'll be honest. I truly want to know what's going on, how it all plans out. I'm so curious. And he goes, well, that's okay, because you know what? None of you got it right. All right. None of us have got it right. So we could focus on what He's asking us to do today and tomorrow, or I'll say or I could focus on what could happen, when and where and how. But I'm choosing to live today at doing my best work for Him now. So that way I can hopefully have a lot more grapes on that table, because He sure liked the fruit, my fruit. He was eating my fruit at that table, but there was only one bowl. So if I'm always so busy thinking about what, if, and how, and when, and where it's going to happen, I'll never get more fruit. So I think that's a challenge for all of us. So I wanted to share that dream. Be careful what you listen to. Just be wise. Ask for a gift of discernment and go to the Word. If it's not in the Word, if you cannot, because you're supposed to test it. Be a Berean. Test the words that you hear with the Word. If, that's the beauty of internet now. You could just type in a couple of things and bam, it's right there to let you know if it matches the Word or not. So test the Word. Test my words. Pray for my dreams. See if you get a different interpretation. I just know for me, since usually they're directed toward me because I'm the one that listens to a whole lot of end time stuff, that it took away all my anxiety and pressure to be knowing the end of all things. I have been this way since I was a little girl. I love eschatology, which means end time studies. Love it. And my belief systems have changed over the years. But at the same time, it doesn't matter if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing today and then tomorrow. And praying a lot. Praying over our world, praying over our nation, praying over my family, and praying over myself to stay centered on Him. Well, thank you for watching this. Be blessed. And if you don't know Jesus, today is the day. Because even though I know He's coming back here to this earth. When, where, how, don't know. But I know He's coming. And I want to be ready for Him in whatever hour that is. And not only that, even if that's not your theology or how you believe, you will someday not be here. And that could be tomorrow. next week, next month, next year, 50 years, depending who you are, what you're doing, what happens, because we can't control anything in this life. We have to kind of change our mindset about that. We cannot control anything in this life when it comes to when and where our days are up. So I know I want to be on the right side of God. I want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. So I believe in Jesus with all my heart. He has loved me. He has healed me. He healed me from MS. He's healed me of multiple things. And I have proof. And that is an incurable disease by all medical standards. And I am healed 150%, 1000%. And I am living a life that I want to glorify God in, because we're only here for this amount of time, but we'll be in eternity forever. So believe in Jesus today. He is the way, He is the truth, and the life. And He loves you so very much that He died for you. He died for you. He would die for everyone in this world, all 8 billion of us, over again. He just loves us so much. And I'm so thankful. He loved me that much. He loves you that much. So remember His love, His peace and joy, and it only comes through a relationship with Him. Have a great night.